We'll definitely have a quorum.
Well, why don't we go ahead and get started, just in the interest of time. So let's go ahead and call the meeting to order.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and just read our prompt as to why we can meet, why we're meeting virtually. Hopefully this will not become so well known that I don't have to read it. But pursuant to Governor Newsom's Executive Order N25. Oh, sorry, Lisa, Ms. Jones, do you want to call the roll first?
Sure will. Senator Wilk? Senator Leyva?
Here.
Senator Roth? Assemblymember O'Donnell? Assemblymember Cunningham? Assemblymember Burke?
Here.
Thank you. Juan Morales?
Here.
Thank you. Daniel Kim?
Here.
Thank you. Gail Miller?
Here, thank you, Ms. Jones. We have a quorum, and we hope
We have 5 members. I did not hear either Assemblymember O'Donnell or Cunningham say aye. We've only got 5 members.
I thought I saw Mr. O'Donnell. He's calling in. Sophia just texted us.
Is it the 118 number?
Probably is a 562 number. Why don't we go ahead and get started as a
Subcommittee?
subcommittee? Yeah.
Okay.
I think, and Sophia will let us know when Mr. O'Donnell is able to call in.
Or Mr. Cunningham shows up, that's fine, great.
Okay. Yeah, we only have one phone number so far, Sophia. It's a 916 number. So we will hope to hear from Mr. O'Donnell shortly. So again, we will begin as a subcommittee and establish a quorum as soon as one can be established. Pursuant to Governor Newsom's Executive Order N2520 issued on March 12th, 2020, this meeting is being conducted by way of Zoom. The meeting is physically being webcast from the Ziggurat building in West Sac for anyone who would like to provide public comment in person. In order for this meeting to run efficiently, please note the following guidelines. All participants will be muted during the meeting. If any board member or the public would like to make a comment, please use the raise hand feature in the Zoom interface, which can be found if you push on participants, and I will call on your name at the appropriate time. If you're calling into the meeting not using a computer or the Zoom app on a mobile device, you won't be able to provide public comment. I apologize for that. So as soon as we're able, again, we'll establish a quorum. I just want to make sure that Mr. O'Donnell has not yet joined. Mr. O'Donnell, are you here now?
I am here,
Great.
present.
Great. That's
Great,
good.
thank you.
So we do have a quorum. Before we start our agenda items, I would like to note that action items related to the use of surplus school property proceeds have been withdrawn from this agenda, and we will take them up at a future meeting. And first, we will go to the minutes. The minutes for the June 24th, 2020 meeting. Are there any public comments on the minutes? Seeing none, may we have a motion and a second, please?
O'Donnell moves.
Second by Leyva.
Moved by Mr. O'Donnell, seconded by Senator Leyva. Confirming that there were no public comments, right, Mr. Watanabe?
Correct.
Great. Ms. Jones, will you call the roll, please?
I certainly will. Senator Leyva?
Aye.
Assemblymember O'Donnell?
Aye.
Assemblymember Burke?
Aye.
Juan Morales?
Aye.
Daniel Kim?
Aye.
Gail Miller?
Aye.
And that motion carries. Chair, would you like me to leave the roll open?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will move on to the executive officer statement, please. Ms. Silverman?
Yes, we have a few things to announce tonight, and we're excited about our new OPSC online application system. And that announcement actually went out in July. So we did notify all school districts that we have a new online portal that expanded way beyond the career tech education program. So it does encompass a new paperless process for all our programs. So this is not only green, but also an efficient process. Districts have the ability to save themselves time and effort, avoid snail mail, avoid dropping paper. Again, expands new construction, modernization, facility hardship, charter, you name it. So we're excited about this new opportunity, and again, has a lot of neat wizard features. You can actually track it, your project online, seamless, and you can actually navigate through the process. You can put your application side by side, look at your versions and prior versions, do a grant calculator. It's a really neat feature, and again, we're super excited, and what a great opportunity for feature that for our stakeholders and school district, especially during this time of COVID. Again, this has been a few years in the making, and we're super excited about featuring this online portal and online product. So again, we encourage all districts to use this. So we're looking forward to providing more education and outreach about our product. And again, we want to encourage all districts to use this. So we're super excited about this endeavor.
Great, congratulations.
And we also,
not a moment too soon.
yeah, no, exactly. And we also want to highlight too, we took the opportunity to bring some spring apportionments. So it was a large spring bond sale, nearly $812 million. And we wanted to provide the board an update because the timeline to submit your fund releases was actually yesterday. So as of August 7th, we had nearly $700 million of projects that came in for the fund releases. It's great, but we know that we always have a flood of fund releases that do come in through the door. So again, we expect the flood of fund releases to come in. So we'll provide more updates in the next few weeks. So our next September meeting will provide more updates. Again, we've been notifying districts of their cash. So we don't expect no one to miss that opportunity. And we also want to highlight districts have been using this opportunity to access our program for those emergency extensions due to this COVID unique circumstances we are in. So we have this online extension request feature, and districts have been taking that opportunity. Although in our report, we highlight there's 258 requests that have come in to our office. And again, folks have submitted that request online. We wanted to highlight that we actually have over 285 requests for various extensions for our program. And again, we want to work with districts, and we understand the unique circumstances as they move around in this unique environment we're in. And again, we want to continue to work with districts. So please use this if you need this extension request, which it may impact not only your fund release request, it may actually impact, your processing for grants and the various extensions that we have in our program. So again, we want to encourage districts to use this opportunity. We also wanted to highlight that we currently have a priority funding filing round that closes on Friday. So if you have an unfunded approval and you submit a certification for the fall bond sale, this certification is valid from July 1st all the way to December 31st. So this is real important that folks submit a certification right now. So we actually had every project that had an unfunded approval submit a certification so far. But if you have an unfunded approval that's approved tonight in the consent agenda, please submit your certification because these projects are eligible for the fall bond sale. And yes, we do know the treasurer has already committed for a fall bond sale. So please submit your certification for these unfunded approvals tonight. And the last thing we want to share with districts is the 6th filing round for Career Tech. That wrapped up at the end of June. And we had over $427 million in request for Career Tech funding applications. So we have quite a load of projects that came in. That's 249 requests for funding. And we have over $286 million available. So again, it's going to be very competitive for those last dollars. So again, we'll be looking forward to a future board meeting to present to the board those career tech applications. And then our next meeting is scheduled for September 23rd, but we're looking at this point in time to move that date, likely September 30th. And we'll be making some announcements in the future about the time. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Ms. Silverman. Mr. Kim, do you want to acknowledge anything about the OPSC online system?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. I want to congratulate OPSC for developing the online application system. This is a big deal. It took a lot of effort and time and collaboration with a lot of different people. So Lisa's already mentioned the fact that we have the system in place now. And I think one of the huge benefits is that the school districts can actually track the status of the project. And that's really, really important. So I want to commend Lisa and Barbara and Michael Watanabe for pulling this together as project sponsors, and also for all of the OPSC key subject matter experts, Brian LePass, Tracy Sharp, Jennifer Mastretti, Joshua Potter, Hung Bang, Janet Mizushima, Adrian Faselgi, Silvana Krawczyk, and Aaron Kaneen. And all the other OPSC staff who've been working endlessly on this, testing this, making sure that it works really well. It's been a tremendous effort. And to be a bit self-congratulatory, I want to thank the DGS, ETS, the IT team for helping to put this together. And we're all looking forward to developing some enhancements in the system so that we can integrate the Division of State Architect, so that we can have more of a one-stop shop for school districts to enter information just in one place. And eventually working with Department of Education on this as well. So thank you, Lisa and team, for pulling this together. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Kim. And again, Lisa, congratulations to your whole team.
Yeah, we're excited.
And hopefully all those districts will also have computers for their students to get on as well. We're hoping that that works. So we now are going to move to the consent agenda. Before we start that item, the vice chair and I would like to suggest that we include the Los Molinos unified appeal request as part of the consent agenda as well. Using the other evidence provision of the financial hardship program, staff also recommends approval of the district's appeal to pay back project savings and retain the balance of financial hardship funds for the 4 completed projects outlined in the staff report. If there are no objections or concerns, the board option on page 223 of the agenda to grant the district's appeal request would become part of the vote on the consent agenda. Is there any objection to moving this to the consent agenda from the board? Seeing none, are there any public comments on the consent agenda? And just for Los Molinos Unified, if you wanted to make a comment now would be an appropriate time. Again, I don't see any hands raised on Zoom. Mr. Watanabe confirming with you?
Looks good.
Great. Okay, in that case, may we have a motion and a second for the consent agenda, please?
So moved.
O'Donnell moves.
Moved by Senator Leyva, seconded by Mr. O'Donnell. Will you please take the roll, Ms. Jones?
Certainly will. Senator Leyva,
Aye.
Assemblymember O'Donnell,
Aye.
Assemblymember Burke,
Aye.
Juan Morales,
Aye.
Daniel Kim,
Aye.
Gail Miller.
Aye. And Ms. Jones, Mr. Cunningham will not be able to make it, so I'm going to go ahead and say that the consent agenda passes, please.
And the minutes. Yes, very good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you to Los Molinos Unified as well for all of their work with staff, and especially to staff for working on it. May we now hear the financial reports, please, Ms. Silverman?
Yes, on page 194, just report back as far as the fund release request. We did cover that as part of the executive officer statement. On page 194, just to highlight, in July, we did process and release $228 million to districts as far as providing them cash. So that's great news. And we'll be showing those trend lines as we move forward in September and October. So again, this is great news that we're providing cash to districts. And then on page 196 and 197, as part of the consent agenda, just wanted to highlight to the board, as part of consent, there was $141 million in 64 project approvals that was part of the consent agenda tonight. So that's great news. As far as the extensions were concerned, we were actually had the ability to catch up with some projects that needed that extra time. So again, that was a great opportunity for us to do that during July as well. And there was about $13.8 million in fund recoveries and rescissions that also posted to the accounts as well. So that represents 19 projects. And we had some activities in the full day kinder, and that represents 16 projects. So again, that's what we have tonight in the status of funds.
Great, thank you very much. Any questions or public comment on that? No? Obviously, we've moved on from the appeal. It's been approved. We'll go now, and the use of surplus schools property proceeds were withdrawn. Any reports, discussion, or information items you want to bring to the board, Ms. Silberman?
Just the 90-day workload.
Great. Thank you very much. Any final public comments or questions about the agenda, the board meeting, the schedule, the funds, the online system? Mr. Watanabe, just confirming that you don't see anyone that wants to comment.
No comments.
Great. Thank you very much. In that case, the meeting is adjourned.